Sambakala. This is among the 5 markets that we are constructing. And it is steady. We have handed over to the community to start the business. We want to encourage trade at the local level and also let them not spread their items on the ground, which is not healthy. That's why we embark on this project. Yes.
What's the cost of this project?
Cost about
950,000. By council?
Yes, entirely sponsored by the council.
Okay.
No, it is a contract. It was given to a contractor to construct this. Somebody.
Jiba Construction. In the morning by Jiba Construction.
And normally when projects are given to contractors, it is sent to bidding or whatsoever. Was it done? Or?
Yes, bidding was done. They are our contract committee. They have to go under scrutiny. Contractors have to apply. If you are lucky, you are given the contract.
How many contractors?
3. So he can. That's why I brought him. He's one of the members of the contract committee.
Okay.
Yes. You know the
Honorable Boy.
Yes.
How long did it take to completion?
About 3 months.
3 months.
The 4th month it was completed.
Yes. So they've started, it's open officially?
Yes, it's officially open. That's why they have numbered them for the vendors to occupy them.
Okay.
There is a funeral there. That's why they have at the market. That's why they have gone out. Yes. If not, you are going to find the women here.
Normally when you build markets, you have restrooms, do you?
Yes, there is one there.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it's 2, not 1.
Okay.
They are supposed to be. Of course, we have appointed 4 of them, Vincent last, and also Lumo to take care of the Lumo and the market. So when we do that, normally they come for orientation, we used to apply them with gears in order to take care of the surroundings. Yes.
You must have, supply them with the materials.
Materials necessary for them to get back on the work.
As you know, everything starts somewhere. So is there any expansion mechanism? For example, let's say a year from now or 2 years from now,
Yes.
The demand for the spatial demarcation in terms of the market aspect, products, for example, are there any plans?
Providing with the shops and other things.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why we are very much careful when we are building these markets. We have to demand for land because expansion can take place at any moment. That's why they brought us here, and then we are thinking of having stalls here in future. I told them during the opening, they demanded for the stores. I said it depends on your usage of the facilities that we have given you. If you have gone far and we will discover that you have fulfilled the needs, we will provide you with it.
Handed to me when it was about to be completed. Then when I came, I completed the project.
So because of the request, every councillor has to bring their priorities at the beginning of the year. So that's what we embark on, and then make sure that we provide the necessary support to what they have requested. So with that here, it's a big community. We came here and make our own survey. We discovered that some of them are spreading on the ground, which is not healthy health-wise. So we embarked on the project, and then it was completed within 3 months.
Is this one of the 5?
How old is this?
Yes, it's one of the 5.
This is older than the one that we visited.
Yes, we started from here, and then from there, it was just 2 weeks back we handed over that one. Yes.
How long is this?
3 weeks, 3 months.
No, I mean, I don't mean when
It's
was
about a year now because I'm
Yes.
So how many compounds do you have in this?
Huh?
How many compounds?
Compound. It's a very big village.
Like
3,000 people are here.
3,000 people.
There in the community.
Chairman,
Huh?
you've made mention about your contract committee.
Yes.
I'm very much concerned about it. Do you have experts in that committee? When
Allocating this.
This
We have our director of planning. We have a director of planning who is well versed in projects. Normally, he's the one who decides all these things. He's member of the committee. Yes. And we have councillors. The CEO is the chairman of the contract committee. We have the procurement officer, who is also part of it. Yes.
How long is this?
It's 1 year.
1
1 year,
year.
some months. About 1 year, 6 months.
Same cost?
Yes. Yes.
So how do you know what come here to monitor whether they normally use this?
Yes.
They are using
Regular. If you come here in the morning, hey, it is full of me. Because it's a big community.
Because the other time the cleaner was requesting some materials from me.
because what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. Like you give them market, they are using the market.
Yeah, if you arrive here in the morning, you will be disturbed by the wind. All these roads, that's why we have divided. They were saying, yeah, the place is too small. That's what they are doing. But we said we cannot do it unless we have seen that it's properly utilized.
No. This one is made by Mahmoud Chonga. How do you do? Different contractors are different.
The contractors are different.
The allocation,
Yeah.
because looking at the spaces here, you may not accommodate the whole village. So how do you do in terms of sharing?
It is left in the hands of the village. The village will do the allocation. When we come for handing over, we would ask the chairman, that's your market. It is left to you to see how best who are well-known traders in the community. You just do the distribution with your council. Yes.
Okay, CEO. Yes. You haven't been told that this one is older than the new one that we just visited.
Exactly.
If it is the same amount of money that is spent on both, I think that is questionable because what a bag of cement was costing 2 years ago and what it is costing now is different. So if the same amount of money is spent on both machines, don't you think it's a bit contradictory?
Yes, you know, the issue was it was given to different contractors. You see, this one, when I was coming here, by then it is in place already. Then when I came, I completed the work. You see, by then I am supposed to pay the second payment and the third payment. And when I came, I found that the contractor is almost done. Then I paid the second payment with the third payment.
So is it that the contractor is pre-financing the project before the payments come forward?
No. What happened was, you know, there was a big delay, and simply because before I take over from my predecessor, until when I have time to make payments, I mean, it was about some weeks. So this is why it was a bit, this one went up to a period of 4 months. But when I take over, I just pay the second payment.
Is it the same contract committee?
It's the same contract.
That's it, but this one is
Same contract.
We talk about local council. You are dealing with the local people directly, and these are the taxpayers who are very sometimes vulnerable. So this is why along the way we will finalize our discussion after. So and we will also come up with recommendations. So on that note, I'm just the chair, but we have members here. I will allow them if they have any other thing to say, especially our senior man. The floor is yours, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and also I want to join you to thank our host, and as outlined by the governor, already after 3 and the camera and the CSS are hungry. We'll just go straight and then do the eating and then relax and then we go and see the governor. But as really alluded to by the chair of the committee, we at the level of the National Assembly, our role three key functions of the National Assembly is legislation, oversight, and also regulation. And all these three things, we need to do them to fix them, and we can only do it through our partners. So this is a partnership which we are going to do, and coming and listening to the people at the grassroots level, where they will come to us, and then we will be their mouthpiece at the National Assembly. That's all what we need to do as National Assembly members. And I think this will give all of us an opportunity to know the real Gambia and see what the real situations are. And these visits are very key. We just coming back from Bali, Mandinka. Although most of them, they have never experienced this kind of road connections that the people are enduring and going through, and especially at the mid of the rainy season. So we will also, some of us are also in the local and the government monitoring of government projects that are responsible for all communications and all road networks. So, and then the president is coming to the National Assembly on the 15th to give his address to the nation on the strategies and programs of the government. And then there, that will be debated for 2 days, where the National Assembly members and our visits here are very timely. And that is going to give an opportunity for all of us as members of the National Assembly and also the people of the Gambia. That's why, as the name implies, it's the National Assembly. Anything that we are doing, Section 113 of the National Constitution of 1997, is talking about the best interest of the Gambian people and also our conscience. So having seen what we have seen and what we are going to discuss, we know it is going to be in the interest of our Gambian people. So we will try to see that work, a partnership, and then we want these things to be filtered, and we have said it here. I mean, I am not sure whether you invited the community radio program, but we want publicity. This is all about publicity, that people know what the National Assembly is and what they are up to. And I think this meeting is very important. So maybe if they are not around, if you can send a word to them after lunch so that they can be around, visiting the sites with you, and also the small exercise that we are going to do, so that the people of North Bank can know that the National Assembly members are here and they are meeting our key entry points, and especially more important, as per the Act of the 2002 Local Government Act, which empowers and gives the authority and the right for the VDCs to be the entry point for any development project in our various development and our wards. So I think this visit is very important, and all those VDC members who are here, they need to filter the information to their people so that they know that what they have been discussing with them, and we are in September now, I know they are also far with their budget preparations, so that when time comes, then we are going to have the bilaterals, and this is going to be an eye-opening for all of us, and we will see some of the things that we are going to say. So I have to stop here for now, Honorable Governor, and then we thank you so much for the welcome and also the initiative that we are.
Allowance and salary of a council and elected somebody. Think of the responsibility. A councillor is paid only $4,000. Definitely. It's hard to say. Please, you as lawmakers, this is an act of National Assembly. So those of you in office today, please try to visit Section 27 of the National Assembly Act, of the Local Government Act 2002. And please adjust our salary to a certain standard. Definitely we are all responsible, and we all know the responsibility of a politician. Whatever happens in the region or in the world, the councillor is the first person to be contacted. And contacting a responsible somebody, we all know what it means. Are you going there with empty-handed? Are you going there with empty-handed? We are not going there with empty-handed. We all know the living standard of the nation now. Even a layman in the state doesn't give out $100 as fish money today. If you give out $100 as fish money, how much are you left with? Excluding all our responsibilities. I have a lot to say, but I know since in the morning you were on your foot. But please, I appeal on behalf of the local government areas across the board. Please try to revisit Section 27 of the Local Government Act and adjust our salaries.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank
Can
you.
we allow
Thank you.
our office of the ombudsman to say something before the meeting?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, you are here.
Also,
National
among your
Assembly member,
Yeah.
Governor, Chairman, and my colleague Tab. I am Sanafali, Regional Ombudsman. I just want to say thank you for availing us this opportunity. I think this is my own committee when it comes to National Assembly. It's a concern I'm doing this, and our Chief Executive Officer in the region is aware of it. And every now and then, I will come to him to knock his door, and he will call my authority to do his own thing. It's not a matter of reporting, but it's a concern. Like I want to say, the National Assembly members are the short holders when it comes to a financial issue. You got here and add here, reduce here. Over 5 years, I can say, I have been in this region, challenged with logistics. One of our key responsibilities is to go on outreach programs to sensitize the community about the functions and existence of the community. And we cannot do that in the absence of logistics. This morning I even passed through my head office, but not at the door of the ombudsman to remind him, because we are coming to the budget session, that please don't forget about my registry. What he told me is here that already he has put 5 vehicles as requests. I'm appealing to the National Assembly members, the Select Committee for Local Government, IEC and the Office of the Ombudsman to reconsider the plight of the regional officers. Kerewan office don't have a logistic, Mansa Congo don't have it, Basel is a scrap one. In fact, it is a maintenance for now as we speak. We are proposing to open another office on Mansa Congo become next year. We don't have logistics. So if the budget is presented to you as a committee, please help us make that as your priority, logistics and National Assembly. If vehicles cannot be afforded, close motorbike, we will take it to do our job.
So currently, what are you using?
I'm borrowing from my colleagues. I'm borrowing from my colleague, IEC, disaster, or any other institution that is like ready to help me if I have cases. So I'm really challenged and constrained for almost 5 years. So I think this is a great moment and opportunity for me to voice out. The other thing is about accommodation. Since this office was opened in 2006, we have been housed by the governor's office. We have a very cordial relationship with it because normally issues of mediation, it is part of the responsibility of the Office of the Ombudsman, the key function of the government. I am invited. The governor will call me in his car and we go. So I thank him for that. And he is helping me to accomplish my task. I know he has not mentioned about his own logistic. He has only 1 vehicle, apart from that. Previously he has 3, so I capitalized to take that one for him. Now that one is not here, so I'm completely challenged. Every now and then go to IEC once they have disasters and other institutions. Though they are welcome, but how long will you continue as an institution for the challenge when it comes to this thing? So I'm appealing for your consideration when our budget is put. I know if you go to Mansa Congo, my colleague will show the same issue to almost 3 years today, which also without a vehicle for me is 5 years. 2023 will be 6 years.
Thank you very much. I think there is going to be a meeting session.
Yes.
That is our major challenge here. If you consider any project that comes in the war, it is the councillors who should implement that project. And they are dealing with local people. The most difficult part of it they are given allowance. Even to the increase of our salaries, at least 30% that you are saying, they mention only salaries. What about people who are on allowance? Like the councillors, it's very difficult for us. But nonetheless, council want to pass a resolution and say they should also be included in the increment. Because if we say salaries, those people, according to our act, they are on allowance. So I think we want you to make a consideration in this area. Government is not giving us our 25%. All the projects that we are implementing is based on the revenue that we collect. And sometimes we find the challenge. The poor people, sometimes they are not paying the rents. They are not paying because we are just from COVID.
25% subvention.
Subvention that should come from the government. They are giving us only conditional grant. And there should be a grant for us, and there should be subvention for us. So this time they have done well. They said that our budget should be ready well before the bilateral. We all tried, our director has tried very well and contact all the areas, and then we have submitted our budget for the year so that it can be included in the local government budget. If we have that, it will help us to implement our projects. Government can implement projects, but they can be biased sometimes and go to one region and the other regions will not benefit from it. But every region has its own local government area. If they can give us a project and condition us and said, we want you to implement these projects on behalf of the government, and then they come and see whether those projects are implemented. If they are not implemented, the following year, let them not give it to us. So, councils are, sometimes projects will come to the region, they will not consider the councils. And the entry point for implementing projects is councils. We will see projects here, but when there is a problem, they will say, okay, go to the council. Borehole projects are included. Thank God I have worked with the water resources some time ago. I told them this. You are going to our villages, giving them boreholes. If the boreholes has a problem, you say go to the council, let him repair it. When the projects are coming, you will not consult us. They apologized to me and said, Chairman, next time the identification of the projects, you are going to be included there. For tomorrow, sustainability of these projects are very much important. But if the council is not included in it, it is going to be a problem for us. And the other one also, the Senegambia Bridge, a lot of funds are collected there. Council is not benefiting there. And the royalties should be paid to us. When these people are coming from Dakar, they throw rubbish in Farafenya. When they are coming from Casamas, they throw rubbish in. And council is taking care of all these things. Farafenya is becoming a challenge to us because it's a main crossing center for us. The funds that are collected at the bridge, we should get some percentage as a royalty. I have written to them.
Give them a copy.
Huh?
Give them a copy.
Yes, okay, I will give you the letter. I have the copy there. I wanted you people to be copied so that you can follow it for us. Because we do not have anything out of these things. And then we are working to clean Farafenya. Soma is working to, Mansakonko is working to clean Soma. So some percentage of it should come to us as a royalty. So we want you to take care of this, and it will help us a great deal. Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Chairman. Mr. Honorable, have you spoken?
And secondly, there is no vehicle with us.
That one is the ministry. Don't worry.
No. So that, because ministry have given them a budget, that it is going there. If they got anything out of it, we'll suffer. That's why I'm stressing on this. You see, we are going to suffer. Huh? So some of those things, capacity building is our main problem. Also, some of our staff here, we need to give them chance to go. Although council is paying certain for most of those people, some of them to go and do some training, but let them not be left behind. Normally, they can only get it through the ministry. If the funds are not available with the ministry, they cannot support them. So that also we are only you people to consider. So our project is coming. have mercy for us because the councils are suffering. Thank you.
Honorable, have you
Thank you very much. Yes.
We wanted to listen to them.
Yes, we want to listen
I think
to
we
them.
have exhausted.
The governor, the director
Governance.
of governance is here.
Governance.
So maybe we can respond to some
Yes,
of the
although I missed some of it, but Honorable Chair, with your permission, let me make an intervention. It wasn't my intention to speak at this material time, but just to clear some doubts. Last Monday was our bilateral. Honorable Governor will testify with Ministry of Finance. We had a bitter push and pull between the ministry on the one hand and the Ministry of Finance on the other, responsible as custodians of public government revenue. Most of us could recall that the Local Government Act first started with 500,000, then it graduated to 1 million. As we speak, 2002 is 2 million. So I don't forget, in the past 3 years, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million. The council's budget, we requested for it to be submitted well before the government or national budget. The essence is to enable us as a sector to calculate the 25% from the development so that it will be captured in the national budget. Once captured in national budget, it comes to National Assembly and given your seal of approval, then Ministry of Finance will have no excuse for failing to provide councils with the required subvention. And this was our argument with them last Monday. But it's like they are still adamant to maintain the 2 million per council, which is 16 million for all the councils. Now we said, we know that government is experiencing financial constraints. But as a government, if you cannot fulfill the 25%, but graduate from 2 million to something else, whether it's going to be 5 million per council or 7 million per council, but we have to graduate from 2 million, but to no avail. So as a last resort, I am putting this to the National Assembly Select Committee responsible for us. We would like you to back us, to defend us when the final budget, government budget is placed before you. I don't think it is fair because the argument that they are putting across, I didn't subscribe to read today, and tomorrow come next 3 days I'll not subscribe to read. Because it is not stated anywhere in the Local Government Act that councils must do A, B, and C before government provides subvention. No. I've never seen it.
No.
So why should they say councils are not doing anything? Because of that, they are not going to give the 25%. For me, that's no excuse. The law is there, give councils 25%. So if you can't provide 25%, give something that at least will help the councils, instead of the traditional 2 million per council per annum. So if the national budget is finally placed before you, please carefully take a look at that. Because I don't think it is fair on the part of councils, year in, how to keep giving them the same figure. So that's what I
to add one thing to it and to confirm what he said, presently, waste collection is becoming a problem. We want to hand over to the government to take care of it. It's consuming all our funds. If they did not put our 25%, we'll hand over the waste collection to them. And we want government sometimes to intervene and give us tractors or any other vehicles. I have started negotiating with Mohammed Jad for 2 trucks, and each truck is costing $5 million. Bara and Farafenye is becoming a problem for us for waste collection. So if government, even though they did not take waste collection completely, but let them open to us with the donors, for them to be coming to the councils and work with councils. Some of our concerns like waste collection can be remedied by those donors. Because waste collection is becoming a great thing to us. For Afenya, every night over 10 trucks will be loaded to go there. 10 trucks. And all those people those trucks are carrying rubbish. Well, after emptying the packets, they throw it in Farafenye. Bara is the same. somebody coming from Dakar, when he comes, he will throw something in Barra. The river will bring some rubbish in Barra. So it is becoming a challenge. We need to have a bilateral with the government to provide us either to intervene in providing machineries for collection, but if we want to depend on, council cannot make any development in their areas because waste is really generated too much in our areas now. It's consuming a lot of our funds now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Good afternoon again, if I can come back again. Yes. For councils now, we are facing. Okay.
You make it quick because.
Yes, I will not say much. Yes.
4 o'clock, 5, no lunch. It's not good.
For councils now, our bag is empty. What I mean by bag is our revenue. We are not collecting anything. Apart from rates and licenses, we are not collecting anything. These are the only two figures that we are collecting. And it's very difficult for councils, especially at this time of the year. You see, we are not collecting cattle tax. We are not collecting these billboards. We are not collecting car park use. Sand mining, you can name them. It's only these two areas that we are collecting. And it's very difficult for councils. And our salaries, our salaries, every now and then, increment is coming. 50%, if you can remember the other time. Now it's 30%. And revenue, our revenue is still where it is. Still a compound, I'm sorry, still a compound is $100. More than a big compound, $125 or $115. What can $100 do now? Everything is skyrocketing, is going. But councils, our revenue is our problem. Our source of revenue is our problem. You see. But let me just stop here. Thank you very much.
And to add on to from here, it is going to be, we will not see that these are very important.
This is, in fact,
I want to come to UNCDF. This is a very good project that is going to improve the country. Like in the world, there are
It is a council's day.
Since in the morning, they don't get.
This is the last one, final one. UNCDF is working with the councils, and at the moment, they are not coming directly to the council, they are working with the world, local people. We have world development committees which are in place at the world level. They open accounts, they have their own treasurers, they have their own people who are working to choose their own priorities on the ground, and the funds, sometimes some of them will be given $1.4 million. It depends on the success of your project. If you succeed, they will increase the amount. Presently, the cash for work, 35% goes to cash for work, and 70 goes into, 65 goes into procurement. With that, they go and buy materials.
We went to a garden, we didn't live there.
Yes.
But the researcher was asking if it is harvested, when sold, where it is coming from. The funds, most of them, they charge each other in order for the sustainability of the gardens. Like if you have a bed in the garden, I have seen a place whereby $12,000 for 1 year has been saved for the sustainability of the garden. It helps the local people. And who is the custodian of that fund?
They have their own World Development Committee that is looking after of the project.
So the world is taking care of
what the researcher is asking, how they operate is all the produce goes to the beneficiaries. They charge all the members certain amount that they collect from them. So that's the total accumulated fund that is put into an account. But the produce, 95, we can say 95% of the produce
goes to the women
for their they take the money, they don't give it to anybody. Whatever you produce, belongs to you. The percentage that they are charging, maybe 10, 15, 20 dollars is whatever, accumulative, that's what goes to
the project comes to help the local people. They identify their own projects, implement it. The councillor will be there just to guide them to see the implementation of these projects. Some will request water, some will request for garden, some will request for bridge. And these funds that they have in their account goes into work on that. But for the council work people, it is for women and also men participated there. They are paid $300 each. Every 2 weeks, we will go and pay them. They will come per day for $300. When they are requesting, they will come to the community development. They see the genuinity of their claim, endorse it, come to the council. The CEO will sign the check. They have 2 people on the ground who will also sign to see that this money is coming for this purpose. You see? So at the end of the project, I have seen women will go and buy these small ruminants and rear them from the project. That means it doesn't only stop at the garden. At home also it benefits them. From there, there was a time certain wards are also there. The ward development committees are completely dormant. But with the project, it has revived them. They are helping their people, they are identifying their projects, they are working with the council. So that is a good benefit for them. It encourages also savings of the women. Women are saving at the bank. When they leave their money in their hands, they will not, if somebody will come and steal it, and then now they are saving. Some will go into projects like the markets we are doing now. When they receive the money, they will go and buy articles and take it to the market and be selling it. That means they become business people now.
Okay.
So we want you to support the project, let him not die, because we are at the last point of it, so that it can reach to all the wards. Yes.
Yes. Mr. Chairman. Yes. What we need to break is this traditional rule of the Ministry of Finance coming out with their own figure. They are going against the rules. There is nothing in the local government act. They cannot be a player and a referee at the same time. This is what we are going to break this year. They're going to give you money or we will not approve their budget. That's it. Simple.
In the past,
Yukalima, yukalima, kadep ma andan behalf of the chairman, commissioners and staff of the IEC, I want to first of all thank you very much for inviting us to be part of this talk. I know you are an oversized over us.
I think sometimes it is good that our timely intervention of the electoral frameworks are done, so that at least some of the things like the splitting of some of the regions could be done easily. See? For capacity building, even though the office is helping, but we think it is at a slow pace, because it is not many people that are taking to develop themselves. So it is just few that are taking, and then the others may be on the waiting for a long time before these ones can finish. Because if you look at the period to complete your university, it may take up to 4 years when somebody else is waiting for these ones to pass so that they can come in. I think that one is also something that we need to look into. And at head office level, I think capacity is also like space, because at head office, I think we need some other development.
So it's a project with council working on wards project. Every ward is being allocated with a sum of money. So this is one of them. So is it under the supervision of the council? It's under the supervision of the council and community development.
How many kilometers is it from here to
the highway? It's almost 3 to 4 kilometers.
I think it's more.
No, it's more than that.
It's more than that.
Maybe 7.
This
is more than
4.
No, this is more than 5, sir.
No, 7.
Bring down motor.
Wow.
No, it's
about 7.
7, yeah. It's more than 5.
No,
kilometers more.
7. Yes, it's
Wow,
almost
4
to 5
kilometers.
kilometers. It's just the
7.
Then you take it straight. It's
It's like I can remember from in lot 1, from kilometer 0 to the last Kimbala. It's 7 from 9. So this would be 7 because that one.
7
From the last village. Yeah.
7. Pour moi chairman balangar chairman
fini
wow
so chairman
fini
balangan chairman balangan do fe
wow loyen
so important you have a billboard or whatsoever so
this is balangar loyen
because at any time from now they might have their people coming to see what you have done and it would make them happy if they see that you have the board pasted on top of it, clearly written that it is funded by UNC.
You are right, Henry. Just last week, we were in an environment steering committee. They are supposed to come for a visit by the 16th. And where is the board? The board for the project? You don't have a board?
No, not yet.
Yeah. Oh, the new allocations, they did not. They are boards yet to be brought. But the new allocation, the old allocation, all of them have boards. On the way you will
They are not yet.
Just 6.
I think they will.
Sorry, JSK. It means Job, Skills and Finance. You will see it by the way on the way going. All the old projects they have boards, but maybe the new projects they do not have signboards. But it's very important. Thank you very much.
So it's all right. I think.
Let us go by that. When we reach at the council, whatever questions we have for them, then we ask them. Yeah.
So it's okay. We see the yellow.
Yes.
And we will go by that.
This is a multi-purpose center sponsored by council. This is where we have our sub-treasury. The office is responsible for revenue within the area. We have residents, that's hosted 5 rooms. We also furnish, we also have shops outside, rented. We have a meeting ground, a pavilion for rent. So this is a project that has been sponsored by the council.
By the council.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Some of the reasons why we do it, because we wanted to go the extra mile to be able to boost the revenue.
Yes.
So if you look at the area, Townwood is one of the strategic places. You can run this Townwood business. That's why we can.
In addition, there is no residential premises. Commercial residential premises within the region. So we decided to build at least when we have VIPs, they were able to lodge themselves. And there was no ground where the community can have meetings comfortably. That's why we built a pavilion for them to have.
And I think
This
it's all
facility
within
was- this facility was hired
4
by
years.
CSC.
Within all this development.
Within
Within these 4 years, all this development.
outside the 4 years. Within the 4 years.
Yes,
Definitely. All of these projects. Within the 4 years.
Exactly.
Definitely.
You know, when we have a separate revenue, we can have to compare.
Because we only depend on this loan on this compound base.
Base camp. Yes. Because normally they give to interior.
Yeah, access.
But you know, maintaining them is always a problem. So I think if you write to them, you might have chance of getting it. Because you will be able to maintain it better than
any other person. We wrote a letter. Even next week, I'll be doing it. This Thursday, I'll be going.
The minister went round, our minister.
Yes.
It was one of the things that we explained.
Exactly.
You said they are
I think there was no reserve ourselves.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Where are if you look at these base camps, we have one in San.
This side.
This CSC and others. And since they vacate, they have completed their job, the construction of those roads. Those camps are still there on use. If those camps are handed over to councils, we will maintain them. It will serve as a form of revenue and also serve the community where the project is located. So we will do that, and we are on it. We have started discussing with the minister in the presence of the governor. So we are also the access to at least further state our receipts and justification, which we will do.
And definitely, it's supposed to be in the hands of the area councils, all of these structures, because they are built there and they are not paying nothing for them. So if at all they are finishing their project, so council is the right custodian of those places than any other institution.
So once we are moving to Njao, you will see a newly built one on the right.
Just not necessarily
you just have
a stop. You just have a people.
So when their project is completed, they normally hand it over to Minister of Works and Jobs. So Works will keep it there. So it's always under use.
You know, there's a competition there. That's why I think they were trying to. Ministry of Tourism is also trying to compete with the area.
It's good to see. It's good also to see.
want us to start with prayers. Alright, thank you very much once again, everybody. I am Honorable Sebu Jawara, the Chairman of the Area Council. Today we have some visitors from the National Assembly and the Select Committee on Local Government. So definitely we appreciate the visit, which is very timely. The visit is also an important activity which will help the council to regularize its status and also to regularize its development project. On that note, without wasting much time, you are officially welcome in Kuntao Area Council and also in Sierra North as a region. I will also be very grateful to introduce my staff. I will allow the CEO to do that introduction by introducing the staffs that are present to our visitors. Today we have two landlords, that is myself and Honorable Omar Joe. So I know I'm just doing the official one, but this will be the one that welcomes this guest. Honorable, I'm taking permission to do it on your behalf. On that note, I have welcomed all honorables to Kuntao Area Council and to Sierra North and Black. CEO, you can start to introduce our staff.
Okay, I have to stand up so that I can see everybody. Good afternoon, honorable members, and welcome to Kuntao Area Council. As the chairman of the council said, these are the staffs of Kuntao Area Council. Right beside Madam, one of your staff, is Moro Keta, who is the director of finance. Behind Moro Keta, you have Lamin Jobate on internship, University of the Gambia, under the UNDP fellowship program. Behind Lamin, you have Ami Jeng, the records clerk for the council. Behind Ami, you have Pa Dudu, physical assistant office under the Director of Planning and Development. Then behind last on the other list is Mustafa Ba, senior assistant physical planning officer. Then you have Jiba, Madam Jiba, senior secretary of the CEO. Here is Honorable Ahmad Lu, he is the councillor for Pancham Ward. You have the one in the red card is Honorable Pawali Limbaran, councillor for Nyanga Bantang Ward. You have then behind him is Mr. Ansu Tarawale, senior revenue assistant, senior account assistant. We have Madam Ajiyama Cham, senior secretary. Then we have Ms. Musa Samura, the council clerk. At those standing, you have Muhammad Seka, IT officer. You have the other one standing, Fatimata Agnini, internship under the University of the Gambia and the UNDP Fellowship. So these are some of us. We have Mr. Mudi Jai. He is the Assistant Community Development Officer within the region, housed in this country. And I am Mohamed Sam, the CEO.
Thank you very much, CEO, for the introduction of the staff of the area council. There are more than this, but these are the ones that are present, especially my honorables. Most of them are absent, but they were well informed that you people, just yesterday we were in this chamber having meetings, sittings, sorry. So they were well informed about your coming, but they are busy on this UNCDF projects because the auditors will be very soon visiting them.
So that's why they are very busy on this. So on that note, we will just go the party to our guest, that is the chairman of the Select Committee, to tell us what is the purpose of the trip and what are we going to discuss with the General Council.
So, yes, so before I start, can we pray in our own way?
I think that is done. That's what I started. That's what we started.
Okay, sorry.
But we can do another one.
No, it's all right. It's okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman, in the whole area council, directors present here, honorable councillors, staff of the council. Thank you very much for the hospitality and for receiving us in your region. And actually, this is the Select Committee on Regional Government, Lands, Ombudsman and IEC. So the Select Committee is here, is a full-time delegation. But this time around, I would love each and every member to introduce himself and other staff, support staff who are with us, so that your main staff and other people can know them. So we can start it from the right side.
So I am Abdullah Njai from Badon Central Constituency, the member of the Select Committee for the local government.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Alayi Baru Sisi, member for Sabah Sanyal constituency, also a member of the Select Committee on Regional Government and Lands.
Hello, good afternoon. I am Honorable Dawda Jeng, a member for Yamina East constituency. I'm also a member of the Select Committee on Regional Government.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Ali Balde, a Jara West constituency, and a member of Select Committee on Regional Government, Lands and Ombudsman.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Suleiman Jambe, member for Bununga Kunda constituency and chair of the committee.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Keba Kombo South, member of the committee.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Musa Abadi, member for Tarinim constituency and also a member of the committee.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Kimu Gasamo, member for Norway constituency, also member of this committee.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Omar Jo, National Assembly member for Nyang and as well as the host. So you are welcome. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Fatima Keza, clerk to the committee.
Director.
I don't think I need to do this one. I'm not a trader here. David Gomez, Director of Governance, Ministry for Lands and Regional Government.
Thank you very much.
And who is he? Cameraman.
I'm Cherno Davo, cameraman from National Assembly. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, thank you very much, Chairman. On behalf of the Select Committee, we want to thank you for receiving us. This is part of our mandate to do an activity like this, as far as we are representing the Gambian people, especially the taxpayers. Equally, you are also mandated to serve the same people. So this is why we are, performing our oversight function on you, and it's by law, by the Constitution, that warrant us to do this. So, but we are doing it together as partners. So this is why you have select committees in the Parliament. So, thank God, our select committee working closely with regional government, land ombudsman and the IEC. So we are partners, but at the same time we are mandated to perform our oversight functions on you to ensure that at least we come and see what you are doing, so that we can also be accountable to the Gambian people in general. So far so good. All the members of this committee, they are all from different constituencies. But right now, this trip, we are doing it for the sake of the Gambia, the country in general. So we are not here to favor a council or whatever. We are here to favor, to work for the general interest of the Gambian people. So this is why you see this combination. And definitely, I want to thank the members for definitely showing the interest and the passion to work for the interest of the committee and the general people. So, and we always said we are working together, and at the same time, we want to ensure all the departments or agencies that are under our committee, we work with them so that we can all achieve one common goal for our people. So on that note, we went through so many projects. Some projects, I know you give us the list. Yes, we are impressed with some of your projects, but nevertheless, if we have anything, we will also let you know so that you can improve on those things. This is why we are here. It's not about to which one or whatever, but like to work together to at least improve the standard of the people, especially people around the rural area. These are people that really need to enjoy some certain social amenities or facilities, which I think you are doing. One of the is your whole project. So on that note, I don't want to take much time. We have our honorable member who is our host. I will allow the honorable Joe to say something. Then from there, members can start asking questions based on the site visit that we had. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. You allow our landlord to share some words with us.
Thank you very much. With your team, we are definitely happy to meet you guys today. And just to tell the council that this visit is not witch hunting, but it is a support visit, because we are the committees at the local government, at the National Assembly there, and we went around all the council with the project implementations, and in as much as also to know what are some of the challenges that they are facing as well. And Chair, when we talk about area council here, the council in Kundau cannot be compared with other councils, because sometimes if you look at their source of revenue, it depends. They totally differ in source of funding, where they get their money, revenue, and so on. So mostly here, everything is based on the taxes that they collected, and the LUMO, where they can also start from the LUMO and other subs that are on rent and so on. The chairman, we are here today, we have seen most of the project sites that you people have implemented, and we will definitely congratulate you people for that, and keep up the momentum, keep up the good work. And we also try to stretch our hands and reach into areas that you have not reached before. That would also help us. It's the same Gambia, whether it is in Nyani or it is in Salem or whether it is in Nyanija or North, wherever the project is for the whole country. So it's only Gambian people that are benefiting from that project. So that's purposely why we are here today. And on behalf of the people of Nyani, I am welcoming all of you here. My committee honorable chair, you are welcome to Nyani. I wish we had to spend the night here. It's just unfortunate you'll be going to Janjambre. So basically that's the reason or the purpose of our visit. It's a support visit. We go around councils, trying to know the projects that they have implemented, the fully funded projects, that are funded by the council. So that's why we are here.
Thank you very much, Honorable Joe, for that. So, if any member wants to add on, or we can just go into the question and answer. So we also, at council level, we have some challenges. I know my finance director and CEO are very glad.
Yeah,
Yes,
what we do now, we listen to them.
We ask questions based on the projects that we, then after, you can do that at your no. So what, already we told you what you should do. You will say it here, but later you will bring that with us. No form of the document. No. Okay? Please. So members, I think we went to different projects. So if you have any question pertaining to a project, you can ask them. I think the directors are here also.
Yes, Honorable Kasama. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Chair, as well as the chairman of our council, and of course my former colleague, Mr. Sambu, as well as my childhood friend, Keta. Indeed, what my honorable member has just said, the reason why we are embarking on this journey is to meet the constitutional requirement put on us by Gambians. That was the reason why we are. I have one question, Mr. Chair, because I have observed something at Kaura, at the multi-purpose center.
Yes.
I have observed that there are a lot of leakages.
Yes.
On that room.
Yes.
I don't know whether you've already engaged the contractor who was awarded in that particular contract. If so, what response was given to you by the contractor in order to come and fix the problem at that multi-purpose center?
Thank you. Is that? Yes. That's it. CEO, you can.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ken Mwangazama, for that wonderful question. It is indeed very unfortunate that that problem has been observed by council. After observing that the premises is leaking, in fact, the premises is not even on operation since the rainy season started. We contacted Gangworks. Gangworks also contacted the contractor, but only to tell us that the contractor said he will come and fix the problem. The reason why we could not do much is because we are only observer in the signing of the contract document. That's why we cannot hold the contractor to accountable. Every now and then we go in passing to Gangworks to contact Mr. Furu about the issue, but until now they cannot fix the problem. Within the period, it's over 3 months now, the facility is not being used, and that is a loss of revenue. Our projection in terms of revenue for that facility will not be achieved, and that will also affect our projects that we plan to implement. But the problem is the contract awarding and signing was done between Gangworks and the contractor. We are but yet still, we will now continue to pursue Gangworks, maybe even with the support of our ministry, to make sure that we have other powerful arms that can put Gangworks to task so that this is completed. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. You want to?
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Chairman and CEO, and our able host, Honorable Joe. We are indeed very touched for the wonderful gesture that we received from our host today. And we really have to say thank you for that. I just have a supplementary question with regards to what CEO have just said. You made mention that you were just an observer on that contract. and I understand that you are the client, being the client of that contract, and the Gamworks being the consultant, and giving the contractor another individual. I understand that you should have a say on something that you are funding. As the saying goes, he who pays the piper dance to the tune. And if the project is fully funded by the council, and still the council cannot have a say on something that they are supposed to fund, I really have great doubts on that. So my question basically is, how did you award that contract, or how did Gamworks came into awarding the contract in the absence of the client?
Thank you very much. It's a very important question. In fact, it helps us to clear a lot of things. Gamworks has a basket, and this basket is open for council. Council needs the magnitude of your project depends on your contribution to the project. You can contribute to that basket for 10 years, and the amount of money you contribute to that basket to Gamworks determines the project. Now, when that basket is closed and finally matured for projects, Gamworks will execute the project. You just tell Gamworks what you want. Gamworks use that money, tender the project, sign the contract, and bring it for execution. So the problem is because we cannot have the money to fully finance the project within the year needed. But we have to keep accumulating the project in the domain, in the supervision of Gamworks. Therefore, Gamworks also play their role without considering council because of the inability to gather the money needed within the short period of time. But because of these shortfalls, this year, the basket, no council is contributing. All council have ceased contributing to that basket. We rather save the money and implement our project on our own, rather than having such projects and still we cannot use the project. Because if you look at all Gamworks projects currently, they have, even this facility, the office, the facility in Crowd Hall are leaking. Therefore, we have ceased contributing to that project and want to take everything on our own so that we have what we want. So that's the reason is because we keep contributing to that fund. When the fund matures, Gamworks will use that fund and implement a project on our own. So these are the reasons. Thank you.
Secondly, you already implemented some borehole projects which we have already visited. How did you award those contracts?
Yes, we have some documentations. Every now and then, the office of the chairman receives a lot of requests from Alcanos that they are really in need of water supply. So chairman and his committee will sit. The contracts committee at council level will sit and look at those requests. Then they prioritize which committee needs it most. When that happens, they write to the office of the CEO that these projects need to be implemented. The CEO will write to the director of planning. The director of planning will sit with the contract and they start the documentation. They will write to GPA and look for approval, because when the contract is more than 500,000 to 1 million, you have to seek the approval of GPA. So when that is done, they will write to us. Then we tender the contract. After tendering the contract, we evaluate the contract and then send them all the results of all the contractors that bid for the contract. Now we will tell them the results and those that we have approved to give the project and our reason, our justification. So the committee also will sit, review all the processes and give their approval or reject based on satisfactory or not satisfactory. So when they are satisfied with the process, they give us approval. Then we also write to them to tell them that we want to pay this amount for them to start. Currently, for instance, we awarded contract during the Ramadan, just before, 1 week, 2 days before the starting of the Ramadan, through that process. But we wrote to them that it's not mandated for councils to pay 50% before they start. But because of the Ramadan and them to mobilize the resources, we want to pay them 40% for them to start. They give approval, we pay, they come and start the project. So this is, even the project we visited was one of the projects. So this, unless they give us approval, we don't proceed. Yeah. All the documentation are.
You can keep the camera. Having done all those processes in awarding those contracts, how do you compare the contracts that you awarded at your own level, at council level, to the ones that were awarded by government?
Yeah, the contracts differ. The magnitude of the contracts differ. Council has never awarded a contract that is up to 1 million. GANWORKS award contracts up to 10 million on our behalf. But if we do not look into the magnitude of the project, we have some issues with GANWORKS contract, and we have told them, and we want them to adjust, because this facility, look at this facility, 4 million is spent, but look at the facility. You go to Kawu, 9 million is spent, we are not using it. You go to our office, it was supposed to be handed over since December 2020, until now the project is dragging. So this, and it's leaking. Yeah, and it's leaking. When rain comes, I have pictures on my mobile. I took pictures, videos, and went to them last Thursday. They asked me, give us 2 weeks. 2 weeks we are coming to. We were about to move, but because of that we could not move. So these are issues we normally face with GANWORKS, and we have informed them, and we definitely want them to improve on that. Our contracts also we have issues, because we may not know much about the contractor. Sometimes we have challenges in the implementation of the project. For instance, if you go to where we went to Mbayen, the contract is okay. But if you go to Kofa, where we wanted to branch, and you said, okay, we had some issues because the tanks are 4, but they are heavier than the tanks. Currently, the contractor is fixing that, and the operation is ceased for now. So if you look at that, we also have challenges. But as we go along, we can also work on those challenges. It's easier as a council to remedy that than we council remedy that with GANWORKS and a contract.
Thank you very much, CEO. I think I will reserve the other questions because maybe the honorable members will also. I just want to give a piece of advice as with regards to that. That it's always good whenever you are awarding such contracts, you invite at least engineers to give you a little bit of advice before you fall into the trap of these contractors. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me just say something. Last year, we awarded contracts through the council, 3 boards. Honorable Looms Village was part of it. But because we do not know the specification, the contractor also play us, he duped us by the specification of the pipes. He should use about 60 millimeters from the tank to run through the village. He did not use 60 millimeters from the tank to run through the village. He used 40 millimeters. So the pressure was very low. So and still we have a challenge. So he is very right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, CEO. If let me try. I have about almost 3 questions here, but I'll be asking them one at a time. The first question was regarding this road rehabilitation. I'm just trying to ask how much money was spent on the rehabilitation.
The road rehabilitation, we spent over 245,000. For instance,
no, sit down, we'll face the camera.
Okay, the road rehabilitation, if you look at the connecting roads from our villages, we have about 333 villages in Sierra Leone. We have only one main road, that one from Paraguay to Lamikoto. Then from Lamikoto to Passamar. All the rest of the villages that are not on the road are connecting road. So during the rainy season, for instance, if you go using the Kot Omar, we received the report that a lady died because he drowned during rain. He was going to clinic. A student drowned because he was going to school. So when the rain is heavy, they cannot use the road. They have to stop all businesses and stay at home. So what we did was, we wrote to NDMA to help us with this heavy machine, excavator, truck, grader. So we brought them, fueled them, they came with their people, we paid their per diem, their night allowance, and we walk on the road. They will get gravel, go and pour it there, close the road, gravel, level it, and when that was done, they were in a haste to move to Basel because there was flood in Basel. So they cleared that within a week, they moved to Basel. So what we spent was fuel and the per diem of the workers of NDA.
So was the money paid to NDA?
No, the officers. They have per diems.
What I can observe in the rehabilitation, I don't know, and even here as well, the hips were poured on the ground.
Yes.
But scattering them or whatsoever is still a challenge, because I'm still seeing that as you go into Kadaba, you can still find some hips on the way. And also linking Makassar and Jingore, you can still see some hips on the highway. That's why I'm trying to ask, if the money was paid to NDA, then definitely they have not done
what they told us,
very good job for the
the job was very challenging because we have to bring the material from Congo to country on our cost. We have to get the fuel they are operating for the trucks and for the excavator. But for the grader, they said no, they cannot give us their grader because the grader is in Basel and Basel was on a hot stop. So what we did was we mobilized youths. So they will get the excavator, fill the trucks, the truck will pour and will manually be leveling. So this is why it's not level. So that money we spent was fuel for the truck, for the machines, and their officers every day 1,500 because they were spending. Yes, to mobilize and mobilize the machine to come.
Yeah, I just have recommendations regarding the rehabilitation. I think it's not even a long time ago. I even called chairman regarding, because currently at the moment we're trying to see how best we can rehabilitate the roads, but we want to do it in a form. It is similar project at this place in Gulta, because between Gulta and Mbaye, there's a particular area that in the rainy season is hardly used. So when they explained to me, I didn't provide 15 bags of cement and borrowed the tractor of this guy, Chief. And if you go to that place now, it's just when you talk about road rehabilitation, to rehabilitate this road for policy, it's going to be very hard on the council. Yeah, because if you want to do that right now, it will be very, very hectic. And so what mechanism is the council trying to put in place in order to reserve their products?
So during normal days, you sympathize with these old ladies. Most of their products are not sold. The businessmen that normally sell it will collaborate and disappear from them the whole day. When it comes into the evening, they will approach them and they sell it at a very low price. So what we did was, as a council, we were aware of the route project. So we wrote a proposal of a cold store and we identify here as the site. We submit the proposal to Roots through Governor, the current minister. Later, after let's say 6 months, we were told that the tax team, the project tax team, advised them to give this project to federations because federation deals directly with people.
We have went far close to Senegal, which seemed like that was an example.
Yes. For partners, of course, we wrote to UNICEF. Definitely, they could not give us the goal, but they gave us a 4-wheel operator vehicle, and also promised to build an FM radio station.
but it is on the pipeline still.
So was that your priority or the milling and the drilling machine?
Yeah, the drilling machine was our priority. CEO, I think you can answer.
Can you come again?
No, it's going to our contract.
Yes.
And I'm also allocating for the milling.
You have mentioned.
Yeah, for the allocation, it's through the General Council, but it's through, you know.
Yes, he answered.
Through the Development Committee. The Office of the Chairman, if you look at his file, he has a lot of requests on water issues. As we said, we have about 333 villages. And the water supply for this borne water, this potable water, is less than 47% given by the GBOS report for 2013 census. So we have about 53% to cover. So if you look at our strategic development plan, number one, we have 5 thematic areas. One of it is water, provision of water. So what we do, we have a contract committee and we have the development committee. Now the development committee will look at all the requests and look at the one that we can prioritize. Because there is one, when they are short of water, they can travel 7 kilometers before they access water. But there is a village, they only need to travel 3 kilometers to access water. So they prioritize one and give it to that party. So then after that is done, we also write through the process to GPPA to give us approval to award the contract. So once that's done, we float the tender. Once the tender is floated, when it is measured, we call them, all of them here, we open their tenders, we value it in front of all of them, all seated, one by one. We score them. Even before we are done, the loser will already know that he did not meet the criteria. So we will write the report with the recommendation of the one we intend to give the contract based on his submission, and GPPA will review that and give us approval. So then we also award the contract. So yeah, so this is how we do.
But we went from Mowen, is it Mowen?
Mowen, yes.
We've seen a boat. Yes. The tank, I think, is 2,500 liters.
Yes.
5,000.
5,000 liters.
Yes. Okay, like that type of boat, how much do you need to build that type of boat?
Yeah,
or how much do you spend in that particular boat?
Yeah, you can spend over 450,000 for that boat because the drilling, the machines, the solar, the pipe network, all of them has each a cost. We can supply with the specification, then you can look at it. We have the specification. Everything, all the materials that are needed is costed and the workmanship. Yeah, I will forward it to your email. So
when you are sending the hard copies and each project we discuss
exactly.
Date of start, date of completion, Honorable Bani, you want to ask?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I have one reminder and the other one is probably comment or advice. Like during our briefing, we are made to realize that most of the councils have not submitted their activity reports. And then the council was among those ones. And we have been divided
to work in annex to provide the committee those reports. Just a reminder, because you do know that as for the laws, the 60-40 regulation, so we can't just know that by just looking at the council. We have to know that we will put the report and all those things. So we have to be in line with what we are doing.
Okay, the second thing is this road rehabilitation information. We spent about more than 200,000. But we are made to understand that it's not yet applied due to the fact that the connection from where the rehabilitation stops to the highway, the vehicles cannot use it. You understand? So it kind of doubts me if you have director of technical planning or something, because the end result should be that this road should be usable. But even after spending over 200,000, people cannot access the place, it becomes waste of resources. So I think in the future, when we invest in such things, we expect that the work to be done, not to be done haphazardly. Because otherwise, we don't get the result that we want. You understand? I know the ambitions was very positive, the efforts were very good, but then maybe the planning. Because whatever happens, at all costs, it should have been connected to the highway. You understand? And maybe people started work from the inside, and before they reach outside, there was resources exhausted. But that's all in planning. So I would have loved to advise that when we invest, we should invest and then have difficulties in using where we spend our money, taxpayers' money. It should have been pliable by now, and it was one of the reasons that we don't even expect. So I think that's something you can consider in the future engagements.
Thank you very much, Honorable. It's well noted, and we would learn from that. We will agree that it was done haphazardly because a proper study was not done because of the capacity was not there. We just work on it with assumption that once we do this, the road will be pliable. But after doing it, we have some challenges, but we learn from it. So thank you very much.
And just to add on what you had just elaborated, feeder roads is very expensive, to be honest with you. Even just 100 meters, you can spend nothing more than, you can spend even 100,000 on just 100 meters. You know exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. So we are not able, this road rehabilitation, it doesn't mean that it is a complete road rehabilitation. You will just look at the areas that we think is a problem, then we fill some gravel, you understand? But definitely, just 10 meters is more than 200,000, to be honest with you. So we were unable to, it's not a total rehabilitation of the feeder, but just maintenance. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. My own is just a piece of advice, and then I want to add to my colleague, my honorable member, Tonyani Kumakyo. And as you said, road rehabilitation is very expensive, especially these feeder roads. But then we have to go back to the days of Jawara. I think I was very young, but then Desido, we have been connecting a lot of roads with Desido. With this 200,000 or maybe less than 50,000, even buy rice, this Jalokundankas are here. Hold them, cook good rice, tell them today we have. Yes. Then our roads in my area, the time of President Jawara, we were doing like that. If a road from a village to village is not good, we call for a testimony, we put good rice and fish with oil. We call the people, they'll come out. Especially a road that you use every day, if you are called to rehabilitate that road, I think they will come out. So with that little money, just try to, like what you did to NDMA, give them something, have their materials, and sensitize the community. Let them join hands together and then try to, walk on the road. If you put 50,000 here, I believe by now you should have used the road. So next time we put that in consideration.
Okay. My question is not in relation to the road. Just a simple question. I think the multi-purpose building, say it cost about 9.9. Yes, 9. So what is the total, let's say, the total package annually for projects?
My final
development fund. Annual budget. No, development fund is
development
yes.
budget.
The budget for the development,
the annual budget for development is about 8 million. It's about 8 million. So who funded the project? No, it's counterpart contribution. We make our counterpart
contributed to government.
We pay 8% of the project. Casio was a minority.
It's like just to give you an example. Like it is wondrous.
No, I understand.
Counterpart to yes.
So we have a basket where council can be given the opportunity to contribute to that basket. When it matures, they come to you, they discuss what type of project do you want. You say, well, I want this. So our contribution gave us the office, the money to us. So what you contribute to that project, the bigger you contribute, the larger projects you get.
No, I understand that.
Yes,
I just wanted to clarify as to the financing.
So because our one development budget for a particular year cannot give us one project. Because if you use a borehole, if nobody dug 3 boreholes in a year.
That's why my first question was, what was your annual budget?
So if we dug 3 boreholes from that development budget, you realize that we have subtracted to almost
nothing.
25%. Now the rest of the 25% cannot build anything. So we are compelled to go and sign that memorandum of understanding and to be contributed to the basket to get a project. So this is what we do.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I think members have asked and you responded. So we also have, it will give us the way forward. Yes, so as far as council is concerned, I don't know how regular do you normally have your general council meeting? Just as answer.
Every month.
Every month, yes, once.
Yes,
and you always have your meetings?
Yes, of course.
Okay, maybe we may also like to see some of the minutes.
Yes.
Based on your agendas in relation to the minutes. And at the same time, the Gumwork project, I think, left to me, don't stop working with them. We just need to discuss as partners. Because I think this is not the only council Gumwork is working with. The Bundung Maternal and Child Health Hospital is counterpart project. So I don't know why they are treating you guys like this, but definitely I think they need to be fair to you. Because the chunk of the money, they are the one who normally bring it. You just pay maybe 10% or 5% depending on the magnitude of the project. So I think you still need to engage them so that they give you. And what we want to encourage you now, don't see yourself that you are in the rural area. Whatever we do, let's try and start standardizing our projects. Like the boreholes, left to me, you don't have to use this iron standard or steel standard. Put a pillar, concrete pillars, so that it can look different. Because those communities, they need water for the rest of their life. So that steel, with time, it will fall down. So normally that one is these organizations that normally go in for that. But for council, I prefer make yours unique so that if anybody see it, you know this is Kuntaun Area Council Water Project. I don't know whether you understand.
Yes,
definitely understand. Plus, if you are spending a lot of money, members they sell it. You don't just have to spend, and at the end of the day, it doesn't, solve your problem. For the boreholes, it's the pump. The moment if the pump is good, you have water. So please, don't go in for one tank. It will not help your pumping machine inside. Give them enough tank, then the machine can last long. Please. So that's the piece of advice I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think no, we need to tell you our challenges.
Oh yeah, sure. I know you are always happy to say something.
I will allow my administrators to elaborate. Anything they left out, then I can bring it. CEO and finance.
Thank you very much. I'm Director of Finance at
though as had mentioned, this country is the smallest council in terms of generating revenue. We have a lot of challenges in collecting those revenue. We have many challenges, but I have only 2 or 3 which I want to mention here. The other chairman and CEO will also come with for the president. The number one concern is the rates tariff. Since 1992, this tariff was amended, was adjusted. Yeah, balance. Yeah, balance. So what I'm trying to say, our flat rate here is $100. Despite you have a storage bill, you pay $100 equally with a person with grass house. So that's a very big challenge. Yeah, we cannot collect anything. We cannot collect anything with that basis. So 2 years ago, we came up with a project to come up with updated tariff. That was validated. But since then, we don't know where that is. We understand that we had that it's in the hands of I don't know, Parliament to cast it. That's not done now. So the another concern we have is the loan repayment we made to AMRC. So this loan was given to SAFOS during the time of commercial banks, commercial and development banks. This bank defaulted, so the SAFOS had to pay. So all those SAFOS were no more. So this responsibility is shift to council. So every year we pay about $20,000 to this AMRC. We want to look at that. This is not our mandate. It's those SAFOS. Let their family take responsibility. It's not council. So the third one is the social security. So they have lands here. They are not paying any group on those lands. They're supposed to pay rates. So last year we did some evaluation on their properties. We came up with a bill of $7 million. We sent them our demand note. Since then we've been followed. They don't pay anything. So this year also there is another demand note of $700,000. Still now we do not get any money from them, and that's a very good budget for us. If you have that $7 million, how many boreholes can we It's going to be around 10 boreholes. So we want you to take up that matter. 700,000, yeah, for this year. This is what we have.
Yes, concerning these 20,000 for SAFOS.
Yes.
It started since the collapse of the commercial bank.
Yes, the commercial bank.
We've been paying this council annually. Do you know when this thing will be exhausted?
No, we don't know, because last time,
how much we are supposed to
3 years back, I think we made to understand that what we're supposed to pay is about 900,000. 2 million.
2 million. Every year 20,000.
20,000.
So has this been a decision of the National Assembly?
No, we don't know. This is an inherited situation and found ourselves.
So, but you see, it's just like what these social security guys are doing to you. So for council, maybe you don't want to do it or you don't want to, but I think for social security, they should pay you.
Yes.
And these people, they are engaging you, but you don't know. You should be able to know why you are, whether it is in line.
Yeah, Director, let me tell. Thank you very much, Honorable. We want to engage them. Why are we paying this money when we do not take the loan as council officer? What they said is council serve as a guarantor when these alcohol, when these SAFOS were taking loan. But they cannot show us any document that can justify that council were the guarantor when these thieves were taking those people. We are.
Is it only your council or all the councils?
I think it's all the council. All the councils. All the councils.
Until they provide you with the necessary documents or you provide them with this motorbike, you should be able to deduct from the transport allowance, paying it
to pay for the mobility. And
they are doing the work for us. They are doing it for their own people.
We advocate for that, me and my honorables. I think 2 of them are here. They can.
Our total annual revenue is between 20 million dollars. Like buying motorbike for our country. For anybody who is supplying, you are a government, even the government for that country. You go to Serkunda, and then you the provider. Every month we pay you 40,000. They are able to have, they will give it to you.
Other councils, I'm here to know from these people. There's the issue of subvention.
Yes, I have them. It's just the director that is saying.
Laura, very glad to hear that from you.
So, but the thing is, Chairman, for me, I was like, this thing shouldn't be, you hear it from us.
Having autonomous bodies, not to be dictated 100% by central government. But it's something that we could look at. I know it will be difficult for this year.
Yes, for this year.
But it can be looked at and factored in their 2023 annual budget estimate.
They're paying better than NBR. Their councillors are living 4,000. NBR,
Not 1 million.
that is what they said.
This one is better.
These are paying
3,000. 6,500.
You will drive away the best one.
Definitely. Yes.
Definitely. Because a competent people, but before they increase this allowance, he regret why they go for other things rather than attending council sitting to discuss the public issues.
One document that will address these nitty-gritties that are in here, in terms or in respect to their allowances, their emoluments. At the end of the day, do they have something to take home or not? We are working towards this. Remember, the Local Government Act came to being way back in 2002, precisely 2 decades as I speak. It's long overdue. We need to look at the entire document in its totality, expunge what is no longer relevant to modern day Gambia, and then insert whatever is relevant for present day Gambia. So our consultant is busy, as like the focus of the government of the Gambia as we speak is on these floats. We were with the Vice President over the weekend at Sponi, either Friday or Saturday, and Basse was floated. So the focus of the government as we speak has shifted slightly, looking at this float thing. But we were planning to do this Local Government Act. We've already conducted the regional consultations, and we are left with the national consultation to be followed by its validation. When this document is reviewed and validated, it will encompass, it will embrace these things that we are being talked about. So that the issue of the councillors in particular will be looked at. Obviously, there has been talks about them over the years. They said National Assembly members are elected positions. They hold on to their positions until maybe elections the following day, and they vacate office. On the side of the councillors, they have to vacate office 90 days before elections. Where's the balance or imbalance here? What is the Local Government Act that needs to address this? Again, at the termination of their 4 years term in office, do they go home empty-handed? Do they need to go home with something? It's the Local Government Act that should speak. So that's why I said, in order to avoid laboring over this, it's the Local Government Act that we need to do. It is what we put in that we apply. What we don't put in until the Local Government Act is enacted at the National Assembly, there can be no U-turn, because it's an opportunity that we have been given to be heard, to put your ideas across so that we could be embedded in the new Local Government Act. Once our ideas are put there and is given a seal of approval by the National Assembly, then government will have no excuse of paying you $3,000 allowance at the end of the month, or when you tenure finish, you go home with $30,000. This is the Local Government Act. That is the document that we need to pursue. That's the document that we need to ensure that your concerns, as they are raised, are captured in that document, so that at the end of, because when I prepare a national document of this nature, I don't want to look at myself, because whether we like it or not, people come and go, but institutions will always stay. I will someday move out as director of governance, whether I like it or not, but the position of director of governance and that office will remain. So when I'm looking at, let me not look at, oh, maybe next 6 months I'm going to go as, let me prepare for the incoming, for the future. If it doesn't happen during my time, at least let it happen for subsequent or incoming councillors. Some of I remember we are looking at qualifications if I want to contest as a councillor. Maybe the requirements will say pass grade 9. Maybe grade 9 was okay yesterday, but today, do you want to still maintain that grade 9? Grade 9 and you pay me 30,000 per month, is that fair? No. So it needs a total overhaul, yes, of the local government. God willing, latest next month. Some of you, I know I'm struggling with funds because initially I only had a budget of, I think, 300,000. And looking at the people, the institutions that want to partake in this activity, that 300,000 cannot fund it. So I'm looking at ways and where to get extra additional funding and perhaps a bigger hall that will accommodate as many as possible. For me, I don't look at the monetary aspect, but I want to get in as many brains as possible during this exercise, so that we put our ideas, our new thinking into this document, that will go to serve the Gambian people, particularly the local government family, for the next 20 years without having a cost to revise the document at some different stage. This is the situation we are in as a
reorganize your institution and work to make sure that you achieve those goals. It is very important because the institutional memory needs to be maintained in this council here. Unless you do that, you are not going to go anywhere. You'll be going 100 steps ahead and then go back minus 200. So I think you need to do that as a council. The other thing that you need to do, there is a talk that you want to withdraw from GAMWorks. If we withdraw from GAMWorks, GAMWorks is still is going to continue to operate in this country. GAMWorks is funded through a bilateral funding, which is given to it as an institution operating in this country. And the arrangement and the plans are that any institution that they are funding will have to come out with a counterpart fund of 10%. And that 10% is your obligation and you have a say in this. So I think this issue of saying that the contractors saying that we are not going to deal with you, they should deal with you because you are putting in your money. And sometimes some of these things at the level of the council, you need to go back to the ministry so that you engage them. It's a whole institution that have all the expertise and all the knowledge to be able to link you up and ensure that what you do is you are going into the right direction. Because if not, they will just be sitting down there. They cannot say it. Because the last time they came to the National Assembly, they want to say that they cannot come and report to the National Assembly. The Gambian people are putting the money in your coffers for the implementation of your programs. You will have to come and report to the National Assembly. So that's why they are coming. So if we are putting 300,000 for a 3 million project, or if it is a 9 million project, we are putting 900,000. How can they say that you don't have a say in that? You have a say in it because you are putting your money into those things. What you need to do is to engage and have dialogue so that the best work is done. And my advice is, all the observations that we have done since we started yesterday is the issue of maintaining our structures and how do we ensure that they are sustained. We don't have to be spending money and leave those things to die down like that and no proper care is taken, they were not being taken care of. So the council, the director of finance and the director of planning, you need to ensure that you have budget line for maintenance and upkeep of your facilities. Because unless you do that, nobody is going to use that guest house that you have in Kaun. Because if the facilities are not there, people want to have their own comfort. They want to leave their house and they want to come and relax and they want to be comfortable where they are. So you need to make sure that they are comfortable. How are they going to be comfortable? You need to get to the standard that they leave home to come and where they are staying. So you have all those facilities. And now that water and electricity is not a problem here. So you need to ensure that all those things are put in place. But the people who are going to be given the responsibility will have to be followed and then ensure that they do the right thing, because that's their time of reference. If they are not doing, then you have to take the rules that is set up by the council. So those are very important things. And the other important thing is the issue of capacity building. We need to be able to train our people to ensure that the institutional memory of our institutions are there, and how can we do that? We need to train those people. If you do not have funds, reach out to other institutions, other bilateral donors that can help. And I also want to maybe suggest to the Director of Governance, maybe you look at the window of the UNDP governance structure, and they will be very much interested in ensuring that we have a new local government act for more decentralization and development in this country, because the local government are very key. The original document is one of the best, but you know, as we go around, as the constitution was amended 52 times, this local government act, the same thing happened to them. They took out all the very important sections of the local government and watered it down to nothing. So I think this work that is going to be done, all those things need to be looked at. If you go to other countries and see, even our neighbors here, see what the council, the mayors and all of them, they have different titles, but it's still the same thing. What they are able to do, they have the opportunity, you have your semi-autonomy. You need to embark on your own fundraising ventures so that you are able to sustain some of the programs that you need to do. And I think that relationship between you don't have to be an island of your own. You have a parent ministry, make sure that you work with the right authorities in the ministry so that they are aware of all your programs and they will be able to give you the backup. For us, we want to leave a legacy, and Director, this is the legacy that we want to work through with you to make sure that the 2002 local government is reviewed and is passed before 2026. On that note, I want to thank the chairman and his staff for all the good work that you are doing, and you are doing it for your people. You are doing it for your people, and that is what we should be proud of as Gambians. We need to see what our people are, the vulnerability of our people. It has to took 67, 60 years plus. Nothing is happening in our country. If nothing is happening in the rural area, you see how hardworking the people are. We need to have inducement to them to feel that they are part of this thing. And finally, I also want you to work closely with these young people who are here under the auspices of the UNDP Fellowship. The report that they are going to write should be well protected, and you ensure that you look at those things and review and make sure that you make forward and expand the program to ensure that there is continuity. On that note, I want to thank everybody for being here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Honorable. Your advice will be taken seriously, and inshallah, my technocrats have noted all what you have said, and we will definitely look at it and work accordingly to this, inshallah. On that note, CEO, do you have? All right. For me, I have some, which is the subvention that my honorable has mentioned, and also the local government activity is already been highlighted. And definitely, we want our honorables to emphasize on ministerial department to use council as entry points, because we are the government here. But some of these projects are just going directly to the community, or going directly to governor's office, or going directly to chiefs, which at the end of the day, sustainability will be a problem. Most of these projects we are seeing across the regions, they are not through councils. But when they come through councils, then at the end of the day, we can manage, and at the end of the day, we can provide rehabilitation when the need arise. But most of these projects are just coming directly to the people, or directly to the chief, or and the local government are clearly saying that councils are the entry point. It's not what I said. So definitely we will want you people to advocate as council as entry points, definitely. The salary of the councillors, definitely we will always want councillors to have salaries, definitely. Even the chairpersons, what they go home with is very little at the end of the day, compared to the load of work that's on top of their head. So The other one that we have is a project, and at the end of the day, you will want it must come before the National Assembly. That is the sugar mill, the sugar cane factory. That is to be established in Sierra very soon. So I think by the end of the day, it will be tabled before the National Assembly. So we definitely want your support in that project, because it's going to give a lot of revenue to our people and to council at the end of the day, and to the Gambian people at large. It's going to be the first of its kind in Africa. The report is already out. As you can see, it is the Gambia's and Africa's first triple biomass plant. So this is not only for Sierra Leone, but for the entire Africa. So we will definitely need your support when the project is before you. The last but not the least, I will address it to my honorable. I want the gap to be closed between other regions. 6% of electricity is what we have compared to West Coast, compared to Banjul, compared to KMC. And most of these honorables are from the bush. And the bush is very dark. So we want the gap. Look at water. We have 333 villages. Only 60 villages have potable drinking water. Only 60. Only 60. 333 villages. You count in only 60 villages has potable drinking water. During this COVID-19, in the initial stage, when I go to sensitize people, we tell the chairman, we don't have water to drink. Talk less of water to wash our hands. And that is the hard fact. I definitely cried in those days. So definitely, we want the gap to be closed, because we are all Gambians. We are not foreigners. Sierra Leone is part of the Gambia, and we are in the center of this country. So definitely, the honorables, we need your support to close the gap. There is a big gap. Look at, we have no referral hospital. It's the only region without a referral hospital. So definitely, these are all issues that we need people to support us. On that note, we have a lot of things, but as you have just mentioned, we will put them in writings and be submitted to the select committee. So on that note, I am very glad to speak before the honorable, because this is the only platform that we can speak about our challenges. On that note, I thank everybody and allow the chair to close the meeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
This is my
directors, councillors, staff.
It's a very comprehensive.
So, on behalf of the select committee, I thank you very much. The meeting was so interactive, and we had some of your achievement and constraint. So together, we will work together to ensure that at least we improve the standard. So because that's the whole purpose of this grid. So on that note, I want to thank my members once again for their time and energy and commitment to this wonderful and noble committee, and our able clerks who are with us, the cameraman, the drivers, and all the members of the delegation. We thank you all. So on that note, I will close the meeting and we will proceed. So we can pray in our own ways. Director. IEC, our clerks, cameraman, and our drivers. Good morning to Governor and staffs that are here, and our brother, George Duman. It's a pleasure for us to come here. First of all, we want to thank you for the hospitality yesterday night. Because for us, some of us, when we travel down here, we like this charity. So we thank you for that. As well, that's the Gambian, culture. So it's normal. But at the end of the day, the reason or the purpose of our history is about coming down to meet all the regional government officials or agencies or departments that are under the Ministry of Local Government, so we can discuss with them through interface to know some of the challenges and achievements that they do, so that we can know and report back to the Parliament. So, and this is a committee that is mandated by law to do this exercise, and most of the members here, we are very passionate about this committee, and as we always say, wherever we do, we want to leave a good legacy before we leave, and together with the commitment that I've seen in the members, together with our partners like you, we can definitely achieve it. So on that note, our senior member is here. The reason why I do that is always good. This is why I always want to have it by my side, so that sometimes, because we are learning, and as a human being you must accept to learn, so that at least you can progress along the way. So we are all learning, and most of the committee members are all new members in the National Assembly. So he's the only one who is a senior man, and our deputy, we got a by the one who said that. So that's why he really make it. It's not very strong. But thank God we have him here. So on that note, we thank you, and we hope that we have a very good conversation, and to be able to know some of the things that we can do, so that together we can improve the standard of your operation and the people that we are all representing, so that we can, they can see themselves and feel, part of the country and the society. So on that note, I will allow senior man to just throw that, and then, we can allow him to respond. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you, Governor and Deputy Governor, and then all the members here, the staff, and also our cameraman. I think we can say in CRR, we are very lucky that we had people who had served the National Assembly for 2 consecutive years, and they have all been there, and they have served in various committees, and they know the work of the National Assembly and the select committees and all this work that we are doing. Because our activities and programs are by virtue of the 1997 Constitution and our standing orders. That's our focus. And what we need to do to ensure that we get all those things in place is to follow what the Constitution has provided for us as National Assembly members and our standing orders. And I think doing this exercise is also going to help all the partners. This is a partnership, We want people to understand, or institutions or agencies that we'll be dealing with, that this is a partnership that we are going to do because we are serving the people of this country. Wherever you are, as the name implies, the National Assembly. You can talk about your constitution, but your focus will be the Gambian people. As in section 113 of the National Constitution, which talks about our concerns and also the best interest of the Gambian people. So whatever we are doing as National Assembly members, I think that should be our focus. And our standing orders have clearly defined what we need to do. And I think this visit is also going to help us, and it is also very timely. Budget preparations are on the way. So I think this visit here will have to help the governor, his team, and also all the agencies that will be visiting, because bilaterals are going to be done with all these agencies until, the only 3 institutions that we don't have to deal directly on their budget is the Supreme Institution as defined in the Constitution. That's the NAO, the National Audit Office, the Judiciary, and also the IAC office, and also now we are
autonomous body. Our budget will be sent straight to the president to look at it and make some comments, and then they forward it to the FPAC committee. So this is very important, and we need to see what are the challenges we already know, coupled with the flash flood that we have in July and also in August, and is still increasing. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do to ensure that the budget gets to the people who really needs it? And I think that should be our focus. And we, as a team and as a committee, I think that's what we need to understand, and we should be ready to get ourselves prepared and make sure that we pass a budget that will be the test of time and then will be there to help the Gambian people. So, Honorable Governor and Deputy Governor, thank you so much for having us, and then it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
For me, I think the issues I will leave it in my boss to direct on them. But just to advise you as also a forerunner, I also served almost 3 times at the National Assembly, and I know how it is. It is very challenging. My only advice is, you are the hope of this country today. As an institution that serves as an oversight body to all, from the president to the last man, your powers, you cannot estimate it. But then be very connected to your people. The people who elect you into parliament, those are the people I think you are serving, nobody else. As a NAM, if you are connected to your people, don't worry, any election you will come back. And for that, you have to serve them to the best of your ability. I'm sure my boss will talk about the challenges that we have, especially as highlighted by the former speakers regarding the budget and other stuff. That one I will leave it with you, but it's very challenging now. As you know, the world is changing every day. That is why it is very difficult to do. Most of the countries in the world now are facing those challenges, and some of them there will be change of government because of the challenges that we have. Not because of their incompetency also, but because of the challenges that we have. For instance, when we say the bag of rice now is costing $1,700, people will start talking, this government is that and that. But then we are not producing rice, and the people producing it are not also giving it to us. So what do we do? And these are things that the National Assembly, as a body, have a big role to play. The life of this country is entirely in your hands. So we should do everything it takes to make sure that the Gambian people are well taken care of. That is just a piece of advice. I'm sure most of you will want to come back to Parliament, but coming back to Parliament depends on how connected you are to your people. On that note, thank you for coming. I'm very new in this position, not new in the country or in this region, but very new as the Deputy Governor of Central River Region. On that note, I thank you, my boss, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bai. And once again, we congratulate you, and on behalf of the Select Committee, we congratulate you for this new position, and we wish all of you all the best of luck, and I hope together, whatever we are doing here or at the national level, we will achieve our common goal. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to you all, the Honorable Chair, the Honorable Senior for Congo South, the Deputy Governor, Accountant, the media, and the rest of you. I say Assalamu alaikum to all of you. Director of Governance, you overslept. Huh? It's the chair that was working, huh? Yeah, okay, thank you very much once again. We are very much delighted and very much happy to receive you. Having known the importance of Parliament and also the importance of parliamentary committees, we are delighted to have you in the sense that you could have maybe said, because of your positions, you would prefer to stay in the urban area, in your respective homes, and then enjoy what you have. But you decided to embark on this very important trip, and with all the challenges, maybe you will not have comfortable places to sleep, you will not have the desired food to eat. But I believe you are seeing the country, you are seeing the Gambia, and that is one of the reasons why you take it upon yourself to come over and then meet the people, discuss with them, have a dialogue, and also provide for the way forward. So that is really very, very commendable. Probably maybe I will start with the constraints. And I think generally, as a developing country, the first constraint that we have is budget issues. Budget is never sufficient for any institution to operate because of the fact that, one, we are a developing country, and secondly also, we don't have much resources. But again, your district would enlighten you such that by the time you go back to the National Assembly, you will be able to judiciously decide on how to divide these resources that are available. As a regional office, our operations includes also oversight, because all the departments and all projects that are operating under this region, we are obliged to serve as an oversight agent to ensure that the work that is supposed to be done is done accordingly. So we are also obliged to constitute what is called Technical Advisory Committee that comprises the heads of all institutions and agencies that are operating within the region. We do have quarterly meetings, and we do also have on emergency issues, we have also meetings out of the quarterly meetings. And again, also we do have community engagements in a form of going around on a tour like you are doing. We go to all the respective districts, we meet with the district chiefs, the alcalos, the opinion leaders, youth representatives, and women representatives. And head of institutions will also inform the gathering about their activities and challenges. But when the tour is completed, we will also come back and then we'll develop a report where we will discuss the successes, the challenges, and then the way forward. So we will also make recommendations. This one sometimes is a challenge because
looking at CRR, is one of the biggest regions. We have 635 villages here. And if you look at the length also, from behind Kaur Balanga all the way to Same Tenda, and then from Pakaliba right down to Farado behind Bansang. The area is too big. So the resources that are involved in terms of fuel and other logistics, sometimes it's really a challenge. But again, also, we have in other areas also, like if emergency occurs, for example, the flash flood and other things, we also need to quickly mobilize ourselves and then go and have that matter. And we are also blessed with human resources. We have the youth, we have the manpower. All of us, you, the representatives of the people, the governor's office, I will urge that we engage more into trying to change the mindset of our people. Because the fact of the matter is, by looking at the setting of this country, the only way out for us is to go back to the land. If we don't go back to the land, if we continue to import rice, import potatoes, onions, definitely we will never move. And we have the potentials to stop importing these things. But one big thing that is disturbing us as a country, majority of us, what we have in our mind is anybody who should engage in agriculture, in farming, is a poor person. Farming, agriculture belongs to the poor people. That is the concept we have, and I believe it's a wrong concept. It is a very wrong concept. Because now, if you have your backyard, you have water there, why would you subject yourself every day for your wife to go and buy condiments to put in the, to use for her cooking? Why? Even if you have 2 beds, 3 beds, because it's collective responsibility. And again also, you see, sometimes we have to look at the facts and discuss them, because sometimes, since the First Republic, I used to go on presidential tour. The Second Republic, the same thing, and this other republic also the same thing. But the same thing that they have been saying is the same thing that they are saying still now. And that cannot work. Every day you talk of, farmers will talk of give us seeds. Seeds, government give us seeds. Huh? When we were much younger, during the harvest of farms, we see our parents, they go and look at the very best ones and take them out, keep them in a safe place for seeds. Because once you don't have the good seed, if you sow, you will not have anything. But nowadays, what I observe is, everybody want to have, and you don't want to work hard. At the end of the day, people will, milling machines will go around and mill all the goods, you put it in the bag. When the rain comes, you just go and pick it from the bag. So you will not expect to have good. So, and your groundnut also, you have to take the best one, you keep it for your next season farming. But if you want to wait for government to give it to you, government will go and buy it somewhere else. And where he or she is buying it, they will not be able to determine whether that seed is a quality seed or not. You see, now, if the rain comes, after 2 weeks, what I have seen, and I am sure most of you also will attest to that, after 2 weeks, you go to the community, they will say, Jehan Nambai, but at the end of the season, your farm will be full of grass, and then if you are supposed to harvest 10 bags, you will end up having only 5 bags. So the production is not increased. You see, these are some of the things that we need to work on and put it back to the people. The youth, there are a lot of things that our parents were doing. It doesn't fall from the sky. And the reason why they were doing it was, a good intent. I'll give you 2 examples. You will excuse me because I'm talking too much anyway. I'll give you 2 examples. But nowadays, they just take you to the clinic, and the next minute, you will have few boys who will line you up on the highways, breaking vehicles and asking for money. What? That is not constructive, and that is not helping us. So some of these things, I believe they are very valuable, and we need to go back to our people and put it back to them.
This activity also is very dear to us because you are the referee of all electoral process. So that's where leaders emerge, and we depend on our leaders to develop the country. So this is why your sector is very important. So today the committee is here to hear from you. Then at the end of the day, we will also refer. This is just an interface, but later you can also come up with a document where issues where we can synchronize everything together. So on that note, I thank my members, your advice, for the commitment and dedication, leaving all of you from coming here. So we are all doing this together as Gambians. Yeah, so this is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You are welcome. I don't need to talk much. Yeah, so welcome. This is Mr. Lamit Kawa. This is the regional editor person for Kenya. He's been an assistant till last year. Last year when he was promoted to in charge of Kenya. But he's a veteran. He's a PIEC, and then worked for us as a temporary staff till about 10 years ago, 10 or 15 years ago when he was absorbed. And so he's a veteran from PIEC days, so he's a master of experience. And of course, this region is big. It's one of our biggest. Apart from West Coast, I think this is the next challenge we have. So, without wasting much time, I know it is very hot. So, we'll just take you through some of the constants which I think will not be very much difficult. But to tell you, this place was rented for some time. Then when the owner wanted to dispose of it, so we thought it is strategic, so we bought it. So as it is now, it's one of the projects that the UNDP, because they already did about 3 or 4. So this one and Canifin. So these are the ones in the pipeline. So that's why usually we do face the So that's why we said we don't want to waste much money since it's going to be renovated. So we leave it to the agency from now on to the end of the year. Because they did the UNDP process, they did the advertisements. They said they were not happy with the bids. So they will be doing it. For them, sometimes it's value for money, which I think is good. Value for money. If you are not happy with the bids, so they're going to do, that's why it's taking a long time. But we hope before the end of the year, they will start so that at least we have at least a befitting office before the local council elections. So,
thank you, my able vice chairman. Good morning and welcome to RDC. As you rightly said, I'm Lalu Travel, I'm the general officer. I started working with this institution since 1996. Up to 2010, I was appointed as an assistant regional officer. Most of the faces are not new to me. Mr. Jambe, Mr. Baji, I was in Canada. This gentleman and the guy behind him, we are all nominated here, my husband, my brother. But we hope there is no younger. Okay. So it is indeed a great pleasure for you to be with me here. Your importance of your talk cannot be overemphasized, because it is a clear indication of your commitment in nation building. For the first time since I started working with IEC, to see National Assembly members going around to IEC to general offices, because as Mr. Jammeh rightly said, first-hand information is very important, because seeing is believing. We have constraints that definitely we want people to know, because IEC, it is our objective to ensure that we conduct free and fair elections for the Gambian people. It's our intention to ensure that any Gambian, any qualified Gambian gets registered. So, but we cannot operate until and unless our needs are met. Okay, here, obviously, we are 4 in number. Myself, my assistant, driver, and the cleaner. Okay, CRR, there are 11 constituencies, and the region is divided into 2 parts. We have northern part and the southern part. At the northern part, we have 5 constituencies there, and the southern side, we have 6 constituencies there. Altogether, it's 11. Okay, then the number of polling stations all over is 213 polling stations in CRR. The number of registered voters, 119,606. So if you want, I can give you the breakdown. I make some distinction that you need to know. And the number of polling stations for each constituency, and the number of electorates also. I just made a printout of this yesterday. I saw it to my boss. I said I prepare this so that, if at all is necessary, I can give it to you. You also have a look at it, even though some of you have to do of it. Okay. So when it comes to the constraints, first of all, our first constraint is the storage facility. If I go out with you here, you see how we pack these ballot drops. It's terrible. We are in the rainy season. We have no store, and this storage is a general problem. It's not only here. All over our regions, even election house, it's a problem. Because a lot of money was spent to make these ballot drops. So if we cannot put them in stores, they will get spoiled. So which means we have to create another project again to make another drops. All because of the limited budget that we have. So another point is the expansion. Like CRR here, CRR is very big. Deployment day we always have a problem. Crossing here is always a problem. So for me, I'm suggesting the CRR can be divided into 2, so that deployment will be easier for us. Those at the southern side will be recruited, apart. Those at the northern part will be recruited, and those at the southern side also will be recruited apart. This will make our job very easy. I wish election deployment day you are here. Some of the candidates are here. They know what we encounter here. So it's very, very important. CRR needs to be demarcated. Likewise, West Coast, we have that problem. Though I know maybe when you go there, they will tell you. But my area, I definitely want this place to be split into. That will help us. So another thing also, electoral reforms. Because you are National Assembly members, you have the power. So anything that you can do to ensure that electoral reforms will happen, I'm suggesting it's better to do it. It's better you do it. I'm sorry. So another thing is voter education. Voter education is very cheap. You can see that if you look at the percentage, the number of people who will vote at presidential election, when it comes to parliamentary election, it will reduce. The figure will reduce. Much more local government election, because they don't see it as something important. Which means people are not well sensitized. And this sensitization cannot be done without funds. So you should help us. So any project given to you by IEC, know that, because many people think that IEC, they don't have, their work is only limited at only conduct of registration. No, no, no. Our work, for us, we work both day and night. If you see that we succeed in election and registration because of the proper planning, you understand? So if we don't have things in place, it cannot be. Even capacity building. So some of us are going to universities, they are paying for themselves. We expect the institution to pay for us. They cannot. You understand? So if you can help us at least to have health budget, at least that will help us to remedy some of our problems. If you look at the the front face of this building and the sideways, you know, I really need to concrete them because during the season when you are here, sometimes you suffer to enter in the office. And UNDP, we are expecting them to come and renovate here, but they will not do that for us. They renovate only the building. You understand? So, but around the building and the stores, those are the major problems that we have. So capacity building, as I said, that one also, at least if we have healthy budget, at least that will help us at least to capacitize our staff, so that we can also live up to expectation. Because it is our aim to ensure that democratic election is conducted in this country. This is what is emphasizing in the whole world. So Gambian also, especially IEC. Many people have misconception about IEC. But my brother, you ask anybody who work with IEC directly, they will tell you that these people, they have no objective other than to ensure that free and fair elections are conducted for the Gambian people. We are Gambians. We will not do anything that will put Gambia in trouble. You understand? Both day and night. We are Gambians, myself, my brother, we are all Gambians, and chairman, everybody. So definitely, I'm very proud of your coming here, and these are the major constraints that we have. So I said, when you come, at least let me put them to you. Then you can just look at them, and if you have any questions to ask, you are feel free to ask. Mobility, we have regional people, you understand? But these regional vehicles, definitely, I cannot tell you that we don't have vehicles. We have vehicles, but they are not good. They are not good. They are the type of vehicle that we have, because this area, there is progressive.
So, of course, you did mention your constraints, but this one particular...
No, I did not mention it. I did not mention it.
It's not factual.
Yeah.
It's like it's sort of reminder.
CEO of the Janjanpuri Area Council, councillors present here, directors, staff of the Janjanpuri Area Council, my honorable members of this committee, select committee, Director of Governance, Minister of Local Government. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon to you. Actually, on behalf of the Select Committee, we want to thank you for receiving us. And the purpose of our visit is mandated to us that I know, as far as this Select Committee is concerned, to come around to see all the government department institutions that are under us, which area councils are part of. So, and we are representative of people And council is also representing people are there, like councillors and chairpersons who are equally representative of the people. So meaning we are all working to achieve one common goal, that is to serve our people. So that being the case, the select committee is here and actually to have an interface with you to see some of the projects that the council funded for the people that you represent, and also to at least know some of the constraints that you are facing, so that we can work together as stakeholders, partners, to be able to achieve something for our people. So, but that being the case, before I go further, I will allow my honorable members to introduce themselves. Then we can, give the floor so that you can just discuss. Then, because from here we are going to the project side. So, as you said, you have some other projects. Then we can do the discussions here once and for all. Then we go to the project side. So along the line at the project side, they may want to, honorable members may want to, ask some few questions that they will want to have response. So for that being the case, I will start with our senior. Please start.
Thank you very much. I am Honorable Keba Kebaro, National Assembly Member for Combo South and a member of this committee.
Good morning, I am Honorable Omar Diop, National Assembly Member for Nyami and a member for this committee.
Good morning, I am Honorable Ali Balde, member for Jara West constituency and a member of this committee.
Good morning, I am Honorable Kemo Gassama, member for Luabadi constituency, at the same time member of this committee.
Good morning, I am Honorable Alaj Babu Sise, member of Sava Senja and a member of this committee.
Good morning, I am Honorable Dawda Jeng, member of Nyamena East and also a member of this committee.
Good morning, I am Honorable Musa Abani, member of Talini Kunyam constituency.
Good morning, Ibrahim Adjiraji, member of Sanwi constituency.
That is mandated to have a say in local government or to be there as a worker for councils and the National Assembly on how we are operating as a council. So we are very, very privileged to receive you, as I said, to have a discussion with you on the challenges of the council and what are the latest things that we achieve as a council. And we also make mention of a project site visit, which is also feasible. On that note, I would like to start it like yes. Okay. So we, as I said, we are very, very happy to have you people here. So as a council, I think it's very important to have a dialogue with the National Assembly members on things that are that we are facing as a council. So, because as a select committee that is representing councils at the National Assembly, it will be very important to have you on board to also tell you what we face as councils. And one thing I would also like to emphasize: we have been having several select committees that we normally have dialogue with. We share our views, we share our challenges, but still things remain the same. But one thing gives me the hope and the courage. With this committee, we have members who were also part of the council before, and now they are elected as National Assembly members. So this is why I was very happy always when select committees visit councils to know how far they are with their developments, how far on their changes and transformations. But with this select committee, I will be much more happy because we have members whom you know that they were from the local council. So majority of them, or some of them, know exactly what councils we are going to and what are the constraints that councils are faced. So I think it's a privilege to have you here. We have also our honorable councillors here present. We have 12 elected ward councillors who are here and the nominated youth rep. They will also share their comments with you. So as a council, we are trying very hard to make sure that we also deliver, because that is what is expected from us as a council.
the latest projects that we implement, I always say it all over. Our first priority as a council was to drill boreholes for our people, because after having a strategy plan, a consultation with them, that came out as their first priority. So we were able to dug around 15 boreholes at the time frame of, I can say, from 2018 to where we are. So on that, we are thanking the council for that at least. So they are also where we are here right now, because the time we are coming as a council, the office was not that much conducive for people to operate. So it was also under our time that we were able to consult it. And I think the previous select committee was able to at least know how far and how we go about those projects. So we have latest ones that we implement, maybe when we decide this, because CRR is a wide group. So the ones that we implement, some of them are in a far distance. So we will choose among the ones that are somehow closer, so that we can be able to go and see these ones. So these 15 boreholes that I'm talking of, majority of them are implemented by the council. So, but 2 or 3 of them are through partnership, because we are partnering with Centegal. We are also partnering with National. So these people will also help in terms of providing water for our people. So in much cases also, councillors come up with their requests, trying to request for road rehabilitations and things like that. And council also will invest in all those areas. So in terms of youth empowerment, sport and whatever also, these are all things that the councils make sure in the council that we know before. There is a change to the approach of how we approach our people in terms of what giving them the services that they really need. So, but doing those services, trying to execute those functions as a council, is always there's a lot of challenges. So these challenges are things that we have been raising with select committees, we have been raising it in meetings, but still the things remain the same. So these are the things that I'm coming to start mentioning here. Maybe if I forget anything, the CEO will come later, then he will also elaborate on certain things. So in our operation as a council, we are faced with a lot of challenges because we have resources within our regions that belongs to the people of this region, but it's not utilized by the people of this region. That also is a constant. Like, we have billboards all over the roads, and those billboards in those days, they were paid to councils. And this revenue is no more coming to council. It's been taken with the roads responsible. CRR is well known for cattle. Cattle are no more paid to the councils, and we have a lot of cattle around. So these herdsmen who are coming from Senegal or certain countries to enter in this country, they are not properly controlled, because the people who are taking care, like Gilman, the people who are giving these livestock to manage, those people maybe they are not taking the proper control of how to at least have something from these people. So that one also is being taken and given to Gilman. So council is the forest that is surrounding us is our forest. We were thinking and we are expecting that whatever we generate from our forestry, at least a portion should be given to the council, so that we can also use that as our development tool. But all these things are lacking and it's not happening. And we have been saying this all over, with telecommittees, on radios, on whatever, but it's a challenge. So, and when we want development, rapid development for this country, I think councils have to be empowered. So the elected councillors who are with you, we are all honorable members like any one of you. We are elected by the people. But there is a huge difference, and we are directly connected to the people and linked to the people. So, but there is a huge difference when it comes to our way of operations, our way of privileges and the like. Because honorable members can be our witness. They are sitting back behind you. We are still on allowances. We are not paid. After your mandate, you serve your mandate, you are done. You go home empty-handed. You don't have gratuity, you don't have anything. So, meaning, something is lacking. Because when we are talking of decentralization, the people who are given the mandate to execute that function, they don't have the resources. They are not supported by the central government. So, they are not motivated. We are not going anywhere. And each and every member of the parliament, each and every member at the executive come from a municipality. So what is wrong in empowering our own municipalities? Empowering our municipalities is just like empowering our own selves in the other sense. So this is something that is lacking in this country. So with your committee, we will still also reiterate the same problems that we are facing as councils. I can say since independence. In fact, now it's getting better. These councillors, my honorable councillors are here. Some of them are representing 53 villages. And these 53 villages, they are represented, they have to go to all these villages because when you are called, you have to go and answer to a call. But how are you going to answer to that call? You are not mobile. Even a bicycle, you are elected without a bicycle. Now you are representing 53 villages and all these communities will face you and tell you their problems. You are not mobile. For us, what we did was to go to the bank and take a loan for councillors to be able to buy a motorcycle, and we deduct it from their own allowances again to serve people. So I said it here earlier, and I say it in some forums. I said the parliament, they are trying very well, but for me it doesn't make sense to me. You are trying to increase somebody's salary and somebody is down there who is not getting paid. For me, it doesn't. For me, in my position, as a citizen of this country, you are receiving money. You are paid by taxpayers. Equally, you are elected or appointed by the same taxpayers. I am elected by the same taxpayers, but I am not entitled to payment. I am not receiving salary. Now you sit in that parliament, I will say, saying that those people who are getting paid already need to be increased. Their payment need to be increased. And there is somebody down there who is not getting paid completely. The same National Assembly approved for the payment of alkalis. Nobody is denying that. We don't say alkalis don't have to be paid. But what about councillors? We are 120 councillors elected across the country. Then you have nominated ones. We are less than 200 people. We are not paid and nobody talks about it. So, but this is high time. These things, why I'm also saying all these things, is because we have people who are suffering the same pain, who are here seated among our mixed today. So if we want this country to move forward, what is good for somebody in Banjul is good for somebody in Janjanbureh here. You are our mouthpiece. You, National Assembly members, are the mouthpiece of this country. Whatever you approve in that house, it will be. So we will also like, as councils, our problems to be raised in that house, like any other institution or like any other department. So we are faced with a lot of challenges. Me alone, I cannot say it all. But I know we have some honorable members who are among our midst. They will also like to say some few things. So it's frustrating. In my last interview, I was having an interview. I said, if the central government is able, through our ministry, is able to provide governors and deputy governors figures from our own taxpayers' money, why not the chairmen? Because if you see, I take it to that level. Because if councils were given the mandate to run all their resources, to manage their finances, or to tap resources that are taken from them to regain it, councils will not suffer. Or we will help our councils to be mobile through the funds that we are generating from different sources. But the rate that we are collecting is only compound rates and that of the licensing that we are collecting from. That's the only thing that cannot sustain council. People are not taking it seriously, and we will, because even these projects that we are implementing in our own words, projects that are coming through the central government are implemented in council's jurisdiction without the chairman knowing, the CEO will not know, even the councillor in that particular ward will not know. Who are the cause of that? And when there is laws that are saying council is the implement for the region, and those laws were made by experts, but the problem is those people who sit and make those laws, the people who should implement is not implemented. When it's time for implementation, everybody will deviate, maybe due to what certain things. Maybe manak diu nyoboka, maybe manak diu nyoboka. So it doesn't go. So this is at least the little things that I have for you. So Manlila and Puruma and I want. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think you highlighted, these are some of the points that almost all the other councils are facing. So
So maybe, okay, CEO, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, before I say anything, it's important for the councillors also to introduce themselves.
Yeah, yes.
So that they know who is.
Musa Sawale, Councillor for Jaran Ward.
Yeah. Good morning or good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am Honorable Chenduboy, Councillor for Jaran Ward.
Good morning to you all, honorable members. My name, okay, good afternoon rather. I am Honorable Ibrahim Afun, Councillor for Janjambre Ward.
Good afternoon. I am Lagli Kamara Brikamba Ward.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Omar Bagle, Sarsof Ward Councillor.
Yeah, good afternoon. I am Honorable Seydou Katamina Ward Councillor. I am Galek and the Dar Ward Councillor.
Good afternoon. My name is Salazan Jalo, Youth Representative Council.
Good afternoon. I am Raman Jasi, Acting Finance Director of Zimbabwe.
Good afternoon. I am Idris Amane. I am the staff at the Zimbabwe Council working in finance.
Good afternoon. My name is Mariam Kane, Procurement Officer at the Zimbabwe.
Once again, my name is Pasia Tise, the CEO of Janjambure Area Council. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for giving me this opportunity to have an interaction with these honorable members. It's a pleasure seeing you in Janjambure, the second island of the Gambia. Though is somehow neglected, but I think we are trying to see how best we can revive the culture and the importance of this very beautiful historical island. I also have to thank the Vice Chairman, who doubles acts the chairperson of this council, for a marathon speech, which I believe is being consumed by the honorable members. Looking the caliber of people in this very important committee, councils are with the hope that there will be changes and there will be difference in the way and manners that council operates. Mr. Chairman of the Select Committee, we once again thank you very much for sparing time to go from council to council to have a first-hand information of the operational basis of councils. I think for councils, the problem of Kerewan or the problem of Punto is the same with the problems of Janjambure and the problems of Basse. So no need to elaborate much on that. The only thing I want to say is Gambia, we have to be serious about the decentralization. Though it's a long and complicated process, but it implies different attitudes and approaches towards public administration. People are in the belief that councils don't have the capacity. Those days are gone. When you want to know whether councils have the capacities or not, test them and see whether they have the capacity to deliver or not. There is nobody who have ever tested councils to see whether we have the ways of doing things. But I think you are seeing the UNCDF project, which is being pioneered by council, and it's a success. It's one of the best approaches in terms of rural development. And councils are really doing good. Funds are given to the wards on their disposal to manage the funds for themselves. And definitely they are doing very good. So then what capacity are we talking about now? Now when you have the IFMIS systems in council, you have the procurement units in councils, you have the audit units in council. So what capacity are we talking about now? Capacities are never enough. Even you go to the UN, you find some capacity gaps. You go to World Bank, you find some capacity gaps. So why are they saying that council don't have the capacities? Be rest assured that the capacities are here, and we are ready to deliver our citizens of this country. And again, we have the resources. There are resources. But are they being tapped? No, they are not tapped. But there are resources in the regions, especially in CRR. There are resources that we can, tap and get revenues for the councils. Are they tapped? No, they are untapped. Why are they not tapped? Because they have been confined by the central government. So councils cannot have access to those revenues. For example, you get the bridge here, over here. The bridge is free. Why should it be free? When at least vehicles can be paying $5 or $10 to cross. Since the establishment of the bridge, hadn't been a vehicle was charged $10, how many millions would have been saved by now? But bridges are being constructed in the country. They are being left like that. No revenue is being generated from the bridges. And at the end, the bridges will need some maintenance. Where are we getting money to maintenance those bridges? You have to tap money from somewhere else to make sure that you maintenance the bridges, when you can get at least revenues from the bridges. But all the bridges are left like that. Councils can be tasked. It will create employment. It will create revenue for the councils. At least the bridges, 2 or 3 people can be employed from CRR to be managing the bridges. All those things are being confined, taken away by central government. You talk about these Walankes, you talk about these sheep goat dealers. During Tobaski, they came all the way from Senegal, all the way from Mali to the Gambia. They entered, sold their properties, parked their money, and went back. They didn't pay any tax to anybody. Now, those are leakages for councils, which needs to be looked into. How many sheep, how many goats are imported in the council during Tobaski? How much do councils get from it? Nothing. We don't get anything from it. During trade season, you have the Walankes in the area, who use our waters, use our forests, cut our trees. At the end, they go back free without paying any tax to the people. So I think these are revenue earning areas which are very, very important for councils to be tapping. You talk about Janjanbureh Area Council. Janjanbureh Area Council, rates and taxes of Janjanbureh Area Council is less than $1 million. That $1 million, 10% has to be paid to the alcanos. How much is collected on the rates and taxes? Less than 60%, less than 70% of it. How many growth centers are in CRR now? Only 2 growth centers. That's Bansang and Birkamaba. How much do you collect on license? Less than $2 million, $3 million. How much is your recurrent as a council? Only staff salaries, we are talking about 30% now to be added to the emoluments. Now we were paying around 400,000, 500,000 per month. Now we are expecting to be paying 700 to 800,000. Within 1 year, you have to pay almost 12 million or 11 million only on salaries. When your total expected revenue is less than $18 million, so how are we going to manage? Expenditures should commensurate with the revenue basis of anything that you are doing. You cannot be adjusting my expenditure basis whilst my revenue base is stagnant. Then we'll become a failed council. If you people don't help councils, councils will fail. We have to be very clear to you people. Because the expenditures on council is more than the income of councils. Whenever you add my expenditure, you have to also concentrate on my revenue. But on councils, they only concentrate on the expenditure of councils, but not on the revenue side. A full compound paying $115 as tax for a year is very sad. That's why people are not taking us seriously, because they know $115, whenever you take them to court, they can pay. So they don't mind. When a nana seller is paying more than somebody with a story building in the Gambia here, the poor is paying more than the rich guy in the Gambia. You have your story building. At the end of the year, you pay $115 to council. The nana seller is paying $10 to council every day. For the month, it's $300. For the year, it's how much? 3,000 plus. The nana seller. We are sitting on all those things and we are neglecting. I'm urging the National Assembly, please, to help councils. The resources are there. What we should do now is to tap those resources. That's all. As he said, projects are coming. And the strategic development plan is under the custody of the area councils. It's the entry point for regional development. What are the governor's offices doing? The governor's office are implementing projects in the region which are not sustainable. It's not their duty The duty of the governor's office is to coordinate, to make sure those projects are being implemented, but not to implement projects. Projects are coming, deviating from councils, going to the governor's offices. At the end, sustainability becomes a problem. You know? So please, I think the Directorate of Governance should have a workshop that will be between the governors and the chairpersons. It's very, very important. Let each and everyone knows their roles and their responsibilities. I have to say it here. There is no chairperson who is in good terms with any governor. He's not here. They are just trying to manage. Because of what? Conflict of responsibilities. And it's the duty of the ministry to try and thrust that out. You know, when elephants fight, the grass will suffer. So when the chairperson and the governor are not in good terms, the CEO will suffer. The CEO have to work with both of them. It's the middleman. So CEOs are getting problems in terms of that. When governors want to direct CEOs, which is wrong. And all those things are going on. So please, I have to stop, or else I can talk till tomorrow. So thank you very much.